Today we're going to read this story that I love. It's one of my favorites. I know I always say they're all my favorite, but this one really is. It's called This Is Not My Hat. But before we get to the story, there is something I want to talk to you about, and that is strategy work. You know, the work that good readers do while they're reading. Let's get comfy. First thing first, today we're going to talk about inferring. We've been talking a lot about that in the classroom. Inferring is, do you remember? Text plus schema, and that's how you get your inference. Sometimes we call inferring detective work, so we might need a magnifying glass. And I think during the story today, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use a magnifying glass to help me figure out what's happening in the text. Because sometimes the author leaves information out on purpose, just to see if you're paying attention. So while I'm reading today, I'm going to use my magnifying glass at some parts where I think the author wants me to infer. That is, come to my own conclusions about something that's happening in the text. While I'm doing that, you can do it with me. If you have some Post-its, maybe a piece of paper, either of those things, oh, and a pencil, of course, go grab those things now. You can press pause, go grab those things, and come on back. So, the story today. This is not my hat. It's a story about this little fish. And as you can see, he's got a little hat on. I'm not quite sure if the hat belongs to him, though. So that's kind of what we're going to be focusing on today, is this little fish, and what about this hat? I already have questions in my head, like good readers do. I'm thinking, is it his hat? Why is a fish wearing a hat anyway? I don't know. I guess we'll have to read to find out. Let's begin. This is not my hat. Oh, but the text just told me that, didn't it? This hat, it's not mine. I just stole it. Uh-oh, stealing. Not good. I stole it from a big fish. He was sleeping when I did it. Won't wake up for a long time. But then I'm thinking, guys, when I look at the picture, I see with my magnifying glass that this fish isn't sleeping at all. He's awake. The text says he probably won't wake up for a long time. But I'm inferring that he's already awake. How do I know? Text clues. The picture tells me. So what I can do is, I can notice that the fish's eye is open, and that's my clue, that the author is telling me something else that isn't stated in the text. So if I want, I can take note of that on a Post-it. If you've got Post-its, grab them now. And I'm going to write down, I can tell that the big fish's eye is open. He's awake. And what I'm going to do with my Post-it is I'm going to stick it on top of this chart that I've made. You don't have the chart at home, but that's okay. Keep your Post-it there so you can track all your thinking. Put it inside my magnifying glass and oops, let me grab mine. So, I can tell that the big fish's eye is open and he's awake. Let's Let's see what happens next. And even if he does wake up, well, he probably won't even notice that it's gone. Are you noticing anything? Do you see anything? I do. Let me get my magnifying glass once again. And if I look closely at the fish, I see his eyeball. It's looking up, kind of like where a hat would be. So I'm thinking, oh no, the text is telling me that he's not going to even notice it's gone, but the picture's telling me that he already does. I'm inferring that from my picture clues. The text didn't say it, but I can see it right here. He notices that hat is gone. Another chance for me to write down my thinking. Why do good readers do this? Well, they want to make sure that while they're reading, they're also thinking. Because that's what good readers do. They read and they think at the same time. So I'm going to write on my Post-it, I can tell the fish, he does notice his hat is gone. Are you writing this down too? I hope so. I'm going to stick it on my chart. I can tell the fish, he does notice his hat is gone. Look at the picture. Let's keep going. And even if he does notice that it's gone, he probably won't even know it was me that took it. Oh, Lord. Can you tell anything by the picture? I can. Do you see that fish giving the side eye? We've talked about that in our reactions chart at school. Do you remember what side eye looks like? Yeah, me too. It's pretty funny. So he's giving side eye like, And if I remember our reactions chart, I'm thinking, I think he kind of does know who took that hat. Or maybe he has an idea of who. I guess we'll have to keep reading to find out. But it's also a good time for me to jot down that thinking again. Every time that I'm making an inference, that I'm doing inferring, I want to jot it down. Because that's me showing, hey, I know that I'm being metacognitive right now. Do you remember metacognition? Yeah, that's thinking about your thinking. And that's what we're doing every time we get a Post-it and jot it down. So here goes. I can tell by his side eye that Big Fish might know who took his hat. After all. I mean, I hope not, for little fish's sake. Are you already thinking ahead in the text? 'Cause I am. I'm thinking, oh no, if Big Fish knows that little fish took his hat, I don't know what Big Fish will do. But I'm inferring that whatever Big Fish does, it's not going to be good. What do you think? Let's turn the page. Even if he does guess that it was me, he's never going to know where I'm going. I mean, right? Uh-oh. Do you see what I see? My magnifying glass might help you out. You know what I see? I see this trail of like fish stuff or maybe bubbles following the fish, showing me that he went from here to there. Where do you think he's going? Can you infer? I can. I think he's headed toward that little fish. Is that what you were thinking? Let's write it down. Do you have your Post-its? Because you can write it down too. You can tell that what? What can you tell by the picture? Well, I can tell that he kinda looks like he knows where to go. Is that what you were thinking? I hope so. Let me get it on my chart. And I'm still thinking that little fish, he's gonna be in trouble. But I will tell you where I'm going. I'm going where the plants grow big and tall and close together. It's really hard to see in there. Nobody's ever gonna find me in there. Now, we've been using a lot of picture clues for us to figure out what the author means or what the author is trying to get us to understand without the words saying it. But you can also use your schema, like in fiction. We talked a lot about this too. We know that in fiction, something always happens. Some sort of problem, some sort of mix-up. Something usually happens big. So I'm thinking, based on what I know about fiction, when this little fish says that he's going to go hide somewhere, I'm thinking, bad idea. It kind of makes me feel like he's walking into a trap. I don't know. What are you thinking? What else do we know? Big fish searching for little fish hiding maybe in some sort of plants. Are you using your schema right now? Let's keep going. Well, there is someone who saw me already, but he said that he wouldn't tell anyone. That he wouldn't say which way I went. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, why did he trust the crab? Because that's what I'm thinking. Not smart. What happens when you tell someone something that you don't want anyone else to know? You've got schema for that. Me too. Usually when you tell someone something that you don't want them to know, somehow it gets back to other people. Have you had that experience before? I know I have. Well, I'm not worried about that. And look, the crab. You really got to zoom in on him so you can see what he looks like, boys and girls. What's he doing? Pointing? Oh no. We knew it. We knew it, right? He was going to tell big fish where little fish went. And he did. I can tell because he's pointing. And also, look at his eyes. I feel like his eyes are side-eye too. Usually side-eyes means that there's mischief. So I'm going to write that down. Oh, geez. What can I tell? I can tell that crab didn't keep quiet. He just didn't. He's pointing to where little fish is. Let's see what happens. Eee! I'm so worried for little fish. You know, I know it's wrong to steal a hat. I know the hat does not belong to me, but I'm going to keep it. It was too small for him anyway. It fits me just right. Can you think of another story where we saw the main character looking for something that was just right? Goldilocks and the Three Bears, maybe? Remember how she wanted the porridge that was just right, the bed that was just right? Kind of like fish. Oh. Text to text connections. See how I did that? I'm not even practicing text to text and it still came up. I know you thought of that too, right? And look, I made it! Where the plants are big and tall and close together. Maybe he's home free. Maybe Big Fish isn't going to find him in there. It does look pretty close and crowded. What do you think? Tell your mom or your dad what you think, maybe. Good time to talk. I knew I was going to make it! What do you notice, though? The text isn't telling you. The text is making it seem like little fish got away. But what do you see? I see it too. Look. Big Fish. He's right behind him. Not quite there yet, but on his way. And I'm inferring that little fish doesn't know he's there. He thinks he's safe. But Big Fish, I think he has another idea. Oh no. This is usually a part in the story when I would make you get eye to eye and knee to knee with your partner and chat. But since we're not at school, maybe you can do that with someone in your house. Sister, brother maybe? You should try it. Nobody will ever find me in here. And you know what? Little Fish is kind of right. Like, I mean, it is really crowded in there, and it is really hard to see him. I can't even see him in the picture. But guess who I do see? Big Fish. And now he's in there. Do you see it? He says nobody will ever find him, but boys and girls, I'm afraid that he did find him. Oh no. Let's turn the page. Kind of scared too. This page has no words. Do you know what that means? That means the author wants you to figure out what's happening. What do you think is happening in all these plants and seaweed and all this area where everything is close together? What do you think is happening? I think little fish is probably seeing Big Fish, and Big Fish has gotten too close. Let's turn the page. Uh-oh. Check it out. No words. I have to infer. Well, I see crab, and if I follow crab's eyes, he's looking over here. That's Big Fish, leaving. There are the plants. Big Fish is going that way. Do you see little fish? I don't see him either. Is he safe? Did Big Fish do the unthinkable? I'm kind of afraid to turn the page. Uh-oh. Do you see what's on Big Fish's head? Look at that hope you're laughing because that's really funny. But it does make me infer. It shouldn't make you infer too. If you already know what you're thinking, jot it down on your paper or your Post-it before I do mine. You can press pause. Because what I'm thinking is, big fish, he ate little fish and took the hat. Is that what you're thinking? I'm gonna write it down. Just so my thinking is visible. I can tell since big fish has his hat and I don't see little fish, I think he ate him. What did you write? It's interesting how the author does that, right? How he doesn't write any words because he wants you to draw your own conclusions. He wants you to make up your own mind on what you think happened. Maybe you thought that he just took the hat from little fish. Maybe you didn't think he ate him like me. We don't know yet. We have to turn the page. And that's the end. And sometimes the authors do that. They kind of leave you hanging, like, with what you think, and you don't know if you're right. I think he ate him, but I'm not completely sure because the text doesn't tell me. That's just what I'm inferring, based on what I know about fiction, and based on what the clues in the text were. Those are the conclusions that I drew. What conclusions did you come to? Maybe you can share them with your mom or a sister. This is what good readers do. They infer while they're reading. Authors love to get you thinking, and I love to get you thinking too. I hope you loved the story today. I did. Keep on inferring when you're reading at home. See you guys soon!